Cheers and welcome to the Consumers Beverages Beer Show. I'm your host, Marty Beniaz. Western New York has a long history of brewing, and today we're on the forefront of the craft brew industry. Join us as we take a behind-the-scenes look at some local breweries. We'll learn a little bit about local Buffalo beer history, and we'll learn some facts about beer that you might not know. Our first local brewer not only makes a great selection of their own craft beer, but you can also make your own craft beer right on premises. Let's send it over to Michelle Snyder at Windy Brew in Strikersville.
My husband was brewing in our kitchen for a couple years after he came home from Afghanistan, and he decided that he really liked it. And then we went out to Ohio and visited a custom brew center where you could brew your own beer. And when I had said, you know, I'm sending you out in the garage to do it with your friends anyways, you know, why don't you do this and make some extra money on the weekends? So we opened our tap room, and in July of 2017, we started the Custom Brew Center. People get to come in and brew their own beer. They get to pick a recipe. It's a 3-hour session, and they get to mash in, which means they get to use the grain. They put their own hops in. They work with the brewer, and it's pretty much all hands-on with the brewer supervising and making sure that you're doing everything accurately.
You can pretty much come in and make anything you want to a point. We've expanded it now. We have 2 basically half-barrel systems over there that are all grain. You come in, you hang out with me for 3.5 hours or so, you drink, you eat. It's a good time. People really kind of get to learn what I do over here without having to make the capital investment where you have to buy your own stuff and take care of it. We take care of everything. We make sure it comes out good. If it doesn't, we quick rebrew it and give it to them just to make sure that they're getting a quality product.
And then once it's done, we add the yeast and take care of all the fermentation for about 3.5 to 4 weeks. Bottle it up, you come back, pick it up, and take it home for your enjoyment. So it's a great way to get the home brewing experience without making the mess in your own kitchen.
So this is a brand new 5-barrel system, 5-barrel mash, 5-barrel kettle. We have 3 10-barrel fermenters in the back. Those are the tall ones, and then we have 4 5-barrel fermenters, and then 1 5-barrel bright. Our maximum capacity is about 55 barrels at any time, if everything's full. We're usually running around 35 or so. I use 2 of the 10s for lagering. So we have roughly 13-ish flagships. 12 of them were here before I got here, and then we have a sour that will rotate flavors and everything. We are very heavy in seasonal stuff, so we have a Martin that we have on that I lagered for 8 weeks. Our game day Pilsner, we lager for at least 6 to 8 weeks. It's a great beer, super crisp, super clean. We have a seltzer and a cider we make in-house. Today we're brewing the Fluffernutter, which is our peanut butter marshmallow stout that everyone loves.
We have many different groups that come in. We brew a beer for them. We do the local snowmobile club. We've brewed a beer for them twice now. And then we have a great snowmobile party. We have paint nights. This weekend we're having a tailgate party to celebrate the Bills out in our beer garden. We have a couple TVs out there for that. We host baby showers, different things all through the year. We have music on weekends every once in a while, and then in the summer in the beer garden, we have bands or duos out there as well. We expanded a year ago, a little over a year ago, with the new brew house. Went from a 1-barrel system to a 5-barrel. We were brewing inside this tap room and went out into a new building with all new equipment. Now we are looking to expand and open another location, and it's in the works to open in April or May out in Batavia.
Around 160,000 pints of beer are wasted each year on the mustaches of Guinness drinkers. How much money is lost? Is it A, $75,000, B, $250,000, C, $500,000, D, $1.2 million? The answer is C. $500,000 worth of Guinness is lost each year on mustaches.
Welcome back to the Consumers Beverages Beer Show. Not only is the craft brew industry enjoying a golden era, but craft distilleries are also taking off in popularity. Today, we'll learn how to make a spiced apple old fashioned with the help of Kevin Thomas. They're from Western Reserve Distilleries.
Welcome back to the Western Reserve Cocktail Corner. I'm joined alongside Kevin Thomas of Western Reserve Distilleries. We're making the spiced apple old fashioned today.
That is correct.
Let's get started.
Yep. So think of this as an old fashioned with a little bit of apple flavor, not an apple cocktail with a little bit of the bourbon flavor. So this is definitely going to be an alcohol forward cocktail. So unlike the last cocktail we just made, this is actually going to be a stirred cocktail. So this is normally a procedure you would follow for a higher proof or higher alcohol content cocktail. We're going to start with 2 full ounces of our 4-year bourbon right here. And then we're going to put 1/2 ounce of an apple simple syrup. So basically what we've done is we've taken 2 cups of raw sugar, and then we took 2 cups of apple cider, reduced it down to 1 cup of apple cider, and then added that in with the sugar and heated it up to make that simple syrup, so it's got a nice apple flavor. And then we're going to go with 4 full dashes of Angostura bitters, and this is going to give us a nice little cinnamon and some clove notes into it. And then we'll go ahead and put a good little bit of amount of ice in there, and then we are going to stir this cocktail. And you want to stir this for probably 25 or 30 revolutions. And then what we're doing right now is we're chilling the cocktail down, obviously. And then we're also melting the ice because it's got so much alcohol in there. So it's softening the drink up, so it's not going to be quite as alcohol forward. And I don't know if you noticed, but the ice is kind of starting to fall into the drink, and it's all starting to look like it's one cocktail. Okay, that should be good. And then we're going to go ahead, use the Hawthorne strainer, and we're going to strain that out over some fresh ice. And these are some larger pieces of ice that we have here, which won't melt too awful fast. And then we're just going to go ahead and garnish that with just a little bit of an apple slice and let you go ahead and give that a try.
Can really taste the apple and the cinnamon. That's, again, a really great fall drink. It's perfect. Kevin, tell us a little bit about some of your award-winning whiskeys that we got.
All right, love to. So right now in New York, we have our 4-year bourbon, which is going to be a 70% corn, 15% wheat, 15% rye mash bill. We distill it up a little bit higher, so just short of that 160 proof. It's been aged for a little over 4 years in newly charred American oak. Delicious bourbon, good everyday product, great for making cocktails, got a little bit of that spice in there, but it's also a good sipper, at night. We have our Oloroso Sherry finished bourbon, which is just, this guy actually finished in Spanish Oloroso Sherry casks. 94 points at this year's Beverage Testing Institute, actually one of the top bourbons in the country this year. And then we've also got our Caribbean cask rye, which unlike a lot of the other Caribbean cask ryes is only going to be a 51% rye, 49% hard red winter wheat, a little bit softer, again 4 to 5 year product. It's going to be aged in a Caribbean cask between 10 to 12 months. So it's got a beautiful notes of the Caribbean, and then also got that good backbone of the American whiskey in there.
Thanks for joining us here at the Western Reserve Cocktail Corner. See you next time.
Our Our next local brewer is Butera's Village Brewhouse in Hamburg, where Jimmy and his team are coming up with some incredible local brews and some amazing brick oven pizzas to go along with it.
So back in 2006, I had an opportunity to open a pizzeria, which we ran successfully for 10 years. And in 2015, there was an opportunity, and we went from a takeout delivery pizzeria to a full-service restaurant in 2015. At the beginning of the pandemic, I was given permission by the State Liquor Authority to brew beer, and we've been brewing beer since 2020. So one of the first beers we brewed when we came on in 2020 was a pandemic porter. It's a porter with raspberry mixed in with a very nice, easy drinking porter. Another one, and one of my favorite, is a light lager. We call it America. So we're a craft beer. We only serve craft beer in-house here, no domestics. So we wanted to create a beer that anybody could walk in and off the street, and because we don't have one of their domestic beers that they like, we have something that they will be able to drink. So we created America. It's a light lager, easy drinking, crisp, clear. You know, we move on to the Pride and Punish. Pride and Punish is a traditional IPA. It's got some more of a piney taste than a flowery taste. It is an award-winning IPA that won an award some years ago on a home brewer circuit. The Hef is actually an amazing Hefeweizen beer. It's got a real banana front with some clove in the finish there. Very traditional. We also brew our homemade root beer, which you know, every kid loves to come and have a beer with dad, so having a root beer on tap is always a pleasure. And then one of our other excellent IPAs is Kickstart Your Hops. This is a hazy IPA that is florally and you know, rich in drinking. We just started a series called Land of the Free, and every few months we're going to find an American-style beer to brew, and so we'll change it up. We'll have a Kentucky Common, we'll have a California Common, and other American-style beers, you know, pre-Prohibition, that we could brew and just pay homage to, you know, the land of the free. So we have a Spike Nano brewery. It's a one-barrel system. We could brew one batch of beer at a time. We have 6 fermenters, so we can ferment up to 6 at one time. It's enough beer to supply the restaurant with a little extra if we want to, you know, sample it out to other restaurants or other bars out there. But for the most part, it's a beginning stages of a brew house, if you will. If you've ever been overseas, especially in Germany, every pub you walk into brews their own beer. It's not like here where you got, you know, all these main core beers that everybody tries. You walk into a bar in Germany and you're gonna get something different in every bar because they all brew their own. So our one barrel system is equivalent to what pubs do in other countries. You know, always looking to expand, and we're always looking to grow. We've been brewing for about 2 years now, almost 3 years, and you know, the next step is a bigger system. Right now we're a 1-barrel batch. We would love to get into a 20-barrel system, do a full production thing, you know, and that's kind of where we're driving the ship to.
We'll be right back with more of the Consumers Beverages Beer Show. But first, here's another fun fact that you might not know.
On October 17, 1814, a broken vat at the Horseshoe Brewery in London flooded the local area with between 8,000 and 9,000 barrels of porter, killing 8 people, demolishing a pair of homes, and flooding the cellars of a neighboring community. The court did not charge the brewery with any crime, as they considered the disaster an act of God.
Welcome back to the Consumers Beverages Beer Show. Consumers Beverages has been around since 1948 and is proud to be Buffalo's beer store with the largest selection of craft beer and cider in Western New York. Let's catch up with the president of Consumers, Neil Cavanaugh.
So my dad started Consumers Beverages in 1948 with 3 other gentlemen, and their objective was to home deliver beer and soda pop to the residents of Erie County. The other gentleman that he started the business with left the business within a few years of its inception. However, my dad kept the business going and grew from 15 truck routes up to 50 truck routes by about 1966, at which time he started opening retail stores as the community in Western New York grew and people's desire to buy beer on their way home from work grew. He was able to open more stores. Our first store opened in 1966 on South Park Avenue in South Buffalo, and we've now grown to 18 locations over Erie and Niagara County. When the business first started, they had 5 brands of beer and 2 brands of soda pop that they distributed, that consumers distributed. And they, in 1950, opened up a soft drink bottling plant in the building at Genesee and Bailey, and we were manufacturing soda pop until 1988. We had 17 different flavors of regular, 5 different flavors of diet in 10-ounce bottles and 32-ounce bottles, but as 2 liters prevailed in the market, and we sold the property where the bottling plant was housed, we focused more on the beer end of things. And when the company started, as I said, there were 5 brands of beer. Today we have nearly 3,000 different brands of beer in stock at each of our stores, all available ice cold. So I like to tell people that my dad took me to work on Take Your Son to Work Day when I was 9 years old, and he hasn't sent me home yet. My first job at Consumers was washing the floors in the offices, which are located in South Buffalo. When I was in 6th grade, on Saturdays and Sundays, my dad would take our whole family to work and assign us each a job. So it's truly a family-run business, family-owned business, and many members of our family are still here today. We've been able to grow the business in Western New York because of our loyal and dedicated staff members. We have multiple staff members who have been on staff for 20, 30, up to 50 years. We have many retirees in the community, but without our loyal and dedicated staff members, we would not have been able to serve the patrons in Western New York that are interested in having cold, fresh beer, especially local beers, at their convenience at any one of the 18 consumer beverage locations. We have over 3 buyers in our central office in South Buffalo that are currently seeking out craft beers from the local breweries as well as regional breweries, breweries in Canada, breweries across the world. We also have a network of distributors that bring us the products and the items that we currently have in stock. And there's been quite an influx of new items lately, including lemonades and teas and ready-to-drinks. And we search the world and we search the globe to find the items that our customers are looking for. The local breweries in Western New York put out unbelievable products. We have over 20 Western New York breweries that we feature in store. Each one of the breweries brings their own specialty items to the table, and it's one-stop shopping for people interested in local beers. We have an opportunity to continue to grow the business in Western New York. We're celebrating our 75th year. We have plans on deck to build 2 more stores in Western New York. I have 3 sons that are actively in the business, and we're looking forward to a bright future for Consumers Beverages.
Before we go, we'll introduce you to the sponsor of today's show, the Tinderbox in Williamsville. It's been the go-to cigar shop for beginners and connoisseurs alike. Now let's hand it off to Jim Dvorak, who'll tell us a little bit more about the Tinderbox.
Back in 1995, my father felt there was a need for a premium cigar shop in Western New York. He had a job that traveled all through the U.S., and there was really nothing in Western New York. He retired from his day job, and we opened the business. We feel we got one of Western New York's largest selection. We also felt the need for that in that when we went to other cities and stuff, the selection was definitely a lot larger than anything we had seen in Western New York, and we wanted to be that premium selection. There's three main growing regions cigars come from: Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, and Honduras. Back in '95, most of the cigars came from the Dominican, and it seems that as people's tastes, evolved, Nicaraguan tobacco became more sought after just because it's a little more complex, a little more character to it, where Dominican cigars tend to be the milder ones on the market, which are good for, occasional smokers or new cigar smokers. Almost in the beginning, we were approached by Davidoff to be a white label dealer. We're exclusive to Western New York, and actually we're exclusive pretty much to the Niagara region. The closest store is Syracuse, or you actually got to leave the state and hit up Pittsburgh. So we're an exclusive Davidoff retailer, which is a high-end cigar, and quite an honor to carry. We do get usually a large selection of limited cigars. And they, again, tend to come around the holidays, Father's Day, Christmas. So we have one of the largest selection of rare cigars, whether it's in the Fuente, Opus X, Oliva, even rare Cohibas and Monte Cristos. I would say not only next to one of the largest cigar selections in Western New York, our accessories. We feature at least 3 different manufacturers of lighters, which are lifetime warranty lighters, large selection of humidors, leather carrying cases, travel humidors, and again, other accessories, whether it's the Bovita humidifiers, digital hydrometers, and quite a knowledgeable staff to help you. Our lounge is a public lounge. The only rule per se is that you do have to purchase the cigar from us to use our lounge. We have some of the more comfortable lounge chairs in Western New York. Our chairs are from Dream Seat, which you'll find in a lot of professional sports locker rooms. Quite comfortable chairs. We got bar seating too. We just installed a new HVAC system that is absolutely wonderful. Probably the best in Western New York. So it really does help minimize the smoking in the store. Just like everybody else is doing, we do have what's called a Connoisseurs Club. It's a loyalty program. You get a point for every purchase, and eventually when you get to a certain dollar amount, you start getting $5 coupons, if you will, which will be off your total purchase. We have quite a large selection of pipe tobacco, whether it's aromatic and some English blends. Our pipe selection, we try to keep up on our pipe selection. At times it is quite large, especially around the holidays. We try to thicken up with pipes. And again, those accessories, whether it's pipe lighters, cleaners, carrying cases for pipes. We try to feature several in-store events. They usually happen a lot more during the summer because of the sales reps or the cigar celebrities traveling more so during the summer. But we try to feature large events at least once a month. Those events will include buying events. Swag has gotten quite popular with the manufacturers, so usually not only are there gratis cigars involved with a purchase, there's usually very nice items, whether it's lighters, humidors, or large raffle prizes.
Andre the Giant holds the world record for the most beers consumed in a single sitting. During a 6-hour period, he drank 119 12-ounce bottles of beer. That's one beer every 3 minutes non-stop. After passing out in the hallway of his hotel, his friends were unable to move him, and fearing trouble with the police, they draped a piano cover over him until he woke up the next morning.
Thank you for watching the Consumers Beverages Beer Show. Cheers, na zdrowie. We'll see you next time.